Welcome to episode 31 of the Weekly Take Podcast. I am your host, creator, cousin, nephew, son, friend, anything that you guys really know me as. And today, let's talk about Zion Williamson possibly going to New Orleans as the first overall pick in the NBA draft. Patrick Peterson being suspended 6 whole games. Raptors losing game 1 in Milwaukee. And will Portland get swept or will they get gentlemen swept? Thank you guys for joining. So let's get right into this. So NBA, I have a couple things I want to talk to you guys today. If you guys who are looking at the video version, thank you guys for watching. This is all NBA stuff. This is NFL, and I got a whole other thing going on the left side of my table here. We got a whole bunch to talk about. Yeah, we're gonna try to squeeze it into a little bit of a half-hour show, get everything in compressed into one. I know a lot of people are busy. I've been super busy lately. Life has really just been getting real. I'm in the grind right now. I'm getting off school here soon for summer, and right now this podcast it's taking a lot of time and good things. It's taking good time away from me. It's like time I could be playing video games, but I'd rather be doing this than playing video games. So again, let's jump right into it. Portland ends up beating Denver in a 7-game series 4-3. Raptors end up winning 4-3. Warriors win 4-2. And the Bucks win 4-1, and we'll go by everyone. Portland just looked like a better game. CJ McCollum helped them elevate them to that series, and it was nice to see Portland win, and it's cool to see them get out of the first round. I'm sorry, Portland, but I'm always going to have that little bitterness towards you guys for some reason. Maybe it's just because Seattle doesn't have a basketball team. But so Raptors end up beating the Sixers in Game 7, Kawhi's game-winning shot. And before we go anywhere, let me just say that was 100% skill. A lot of people are saying the bounce was, it was the bounce, a lucky bounce. Dude, this guy still elevated himself past Ben Simmons and jumped over a 7'1" Joel Embiid in the corner on a buzzer beater in Game 7 in the Eastern Conference divisional round. I'm just saying that doesn't really seem like much luck to me. So Raptors end up winning that series. Warriors end up closing out the Rockets, and no thanks to the offensive rebounding in Houston. Chris Paul and James Harden were not the ones to blame. Clint Capella was a huge blame in that series. But long story short, Warriors end up winning that series. Wow, I didn't expect that. If you guys didn't sense my sarcastic tone, rewind it, and then maybe you'll hear it a little better. Bucks end up winning 4-1 against the Celtics with a dysfunctional Kyrie Irving, a young core who looked like they just did not know what they were doing, and Bucks moved on. So the final 4 teams, for those of you guys who are just listening, and for you guys just learning basketball maybe, we have the Eastern side of things. We have the Toronto Raptors and the Milwaukee Bucks going against each other. There's already been one game, and we will be discussing that. And on the Western side of things, we have the Portland Trail Blazers against the Golden State Warriors. And for those of you guys who don't know, Warriors are probably the biggest favorite in the playoffs this year. So let's jump right into the Bucks game, because this was the Blazers game, because this was the first game. So the Warriors end up winning, and it was not pretty for the Portland Trail Blazers. Steph Curry had a total of 36 points. Klay Thompson had 26. Draymond had 12, and you're not going to win a game when that's the case. If you're going to let guys go like this at you and let these guys play this much minutes and not get tired and elevate themselves to the old 73-9 team we once seen before as the Golden State Warriors, it's going to be a hard thing, and the Blazers need to capitalize on Kevin Durant not being there. Kevin Durant's calf is still limiting him games to come play for the Golden State Warriors, and he is the best player on the planet right now, and I would slightly put him above LeBron. I think I would still put Kevin Durant a little bit above LeBron in the offensive side of things just based off this year. But obviously throughout career-wise, I'd put LeBron above Kevin Durant. But that's besides the point. CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard, Enes Kanter, Rodney Hood, all the guys on the Blazers, Seth Curry was one of them. Aminu is one of them. They just look like the Western Conference Finals. The lights are too bright for the Blazers right now. And it's like they shrunk in the Warriors' eyesight. Like, they're like, oh, my God, we shouldn't be here. Like, they look like they shouldn't belong there. And, when you go into a Western Conference Finals with that mindset, like, holy shit, like, man, I don't think we're at these guys' level. They got Steph, Clay, Draymond, Iguodala, Kevin Durant's injured. They got all these people who are just going to come in and just ready to play. And the Warriors, just, we're home. We got this. This is Western Conference Finals. Is a regular game for us. We've been here a lot. It just was not a big stressor for them. So I think the answer for the Blazers to beat the Warriors is to capitalize on Kevin Durant not being there. But also, okay, I know I'm saying two-sided things, and that's kind of inappropriate. But the thing is, Kevin Durant coming back could be the best thing that could happen to the Blazers. And let me tell you why. It could be maybe it throws them off their game. Maybe they're like, oh, shit, we got to give Durant the ISO plays. We got to let him shoot, and then he starts shooting. Things don't fall. Blazers come back, tie it up. Back in Portland, they're up. It could definitely come back that way. But, the Blazers are really asking for a lot right now. So, no help to Damian Lillard, 19 points. McCollum, 17, and Rodney Hood, 17. Yes, they're sharing the ball well, but it just did not look too great on the Blazers side of things. And I believe that their mindset is the first thing they need to step into and look into and see what they need to do as a team to elevate themselves to beat the Warriors, because the Warriors are a well-oiled machine and they have a great coach and they have even greater fans when Steph Curry hits more than 2 threes. If Steph Curry's hitting threes, Oracle is legit lighting up, and they're truly just the team that's going to go on and probably represent, the Western side of things. And that's not to anyone's bad credit or anything, but it's just I look at the Warriors and I see these guys are prohibitive favorites, and I just think with their mindset, is let alone enough to propel them to go to the finals. And they're kind of waiting who are we going to play on the Eastern side of things, and right now, let's get into that game. The Raptors and Bucks played last night. So that was, for those of you guys who are not listening on the particular date, that was on May 15th. They played, and today is May 16th, Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let's get into that game. Kawhi Leonard had 2 points in the fourth quarter, and he's a big superstar. And dude, this guy's he played 42 of 46 minutes of the game. And this guy needs a break somewhat. These guys just played a game 7, and I know I'm giving him kind of an excuse here, but he's trying to get everyone involved. Siakam had 15, Kyle Lowry had 30. They just needed some help, man. These guys, their bench. Where's Van Fleet at? 2 points, Van Fleet. Serge with 4. Why don't we blame the bench for not propelling? But the biggest reason I think that the Raptors lost game 1 is because Brooke Lopez had 29. A guy who has some nights gone with 0 points, has poured the legit Roy Hibbert donut some nights, and tonight scored 29, or last night scored 29, had 2 assists and 11 rebounds. If that's going to happen, this is going to be a long gone series, and the Bucks are going to sweep them. But I don't think Brooke Lopez will have 29 every night. Giannis only had 3 points in the fourth quarter. That's, but Giannis was getting involved. He was driving, he was kicking, and he was doing everything right to win. And, I shouldn't ridicule the guy because they won, so obviously they did a good enough job to win the game. Brogdon had 15. Ilyasova had 7. Eric Bledsoe had 9. Chris Middleton had 11. Right now, I'm looking at the Bucks, and I'm thinking they have more help than the Raptors do. And a lot of people are looking at me, probably are listening like, whoa, what are you saying? The Raptors, yes, have veterans. They have Serge Ibaka, Danny Green, Kyle Lowry, people who have been there. But what is that experience going to do other than just, these guys, yes, had experience, but Serge was essentially coattailing off of Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. Danny Green arguably was getting coattailed by Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. The year Danny Green had these 3-point years, when he broke the record, they ended up losing in Game 7 against Miami Heat. He's been there, done that. He's been on the biggest stage of them all. But where is that? We need to see that Danny Green. When Danny Green's only scoring 6 points and he can't generate his own shot, what's that to say about himself? And veteran, he's got to be able to get those shots. He's got to make those, and he's got to sink them as a Raptor fan. Kawhi has been there. Kawhi's got to, tough it through those last 6 minutes. If you have a 7-point lead right after Siakam hits that 3, at the end of the third quarter to put you up 7, you got to stay in and just say, all right, let's get it up to 10. I'll take a minute break. I'll come back in. You cannot get out. These minutes are limited. You will soon be at home, just like me, watching the games, Kawhi, if you do not stay in those extra couple minutes. I get you're exhausted, but you got to stay in. So to the Bucks' credit, great win by them. Giannis played great. Brooke Lopez played amazing. I really like how Chris Middleton was able to facilitate just in his position. Eric Bledsoe did great as well. So those were the first game ones of the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, or Western and Eastern because I did that the other way around. Those are the two game ones. And tonight at 6, the Warriors and Blazers play game 2 in Oracle Arena or in Golden State, wherever you guys want to say. And I believe it's going to be a better game. I think, maybe Portland will, buck up a little bit, but KD will still be gone. But with KD gone, Kevin Durant gone, I think at this point they're referring back to their old 73-9 system, and that didn't really do anything. That wasn't a bad team to begin with, so it's not a bad thing to fall back on. So let's cross off what we've already talked about. New Game of Zones episode is out. If you guys haven't seen that, go check that out at Bleacher Report. For you guys, if anyone's a big Game of Thrones fan, Game of Zones is basically just put into basketball. I don't watch Game of Thrones, but I watch Game of Zones, and it kind of explains like what Game of Thrones is in basketball, and it's really entertaining. Go check that out. It was not a sponsorship or anything, but I just think it's really cool, and I think that something as cool as that should get something. Hey, go check it out. KD isn't really close to returning. We kind of already went through that. Zion. So, talking about the NBA draft, here we go. We got the first 5 picks. We got the New Orleans Pelicans, Memphis Grizzlies, the New York Knicks, the LA Lakers, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. For those of you guys who want to see what I'm looking at, this is what I'm reading. An article from Tommy Beer, contributor from Sports Money. He had a pretty good article, and I want to talk about that today. So, New Orleans Pelicans are going to get Zion Williamson unless they, lay an egg and don't get him. And he, has officially said he will not go back to Duke. A lot of people, when this first happened, they're, he's going to go back to Duke. He doesn't want to play in New Orleans. Okay. Why would Zion Williamson go back to Duke when, as a college player, your number one objective is to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft and get a shoe deal and get your money and get out of the college and potentially get out so you don't get injured anymore? Why would he stay another year and risk his himself? Yeah, don't go back to Duke, Zion. You had great times there, but you're a once-in-a-generational player right now, and so is your teammate RJ Barrett could very well be too. And Cam Reddish is up there too. I'm not saying once in generational for them, but they are very talented themselves. So New Orleans Pelicans, yes, Zion, go there. Don't stay at Duke and not get paid. It's just not cool. So let's go through the mock draft and what I believe would be cool. These are just guys that I've read up an article on that to see this is probably where they will fall most likely. The top 5s usually mock drafts are pretty spot on unless like some big trade happens. So we got Zion going to New Orleans. The Memphis Grizzlies are going to get Ja Morant from Murray State. I think this is a great thing. Mike Conley leads the franchise in points, assists, steals, and 3-pointers. He's only getting older. They need someone like Ja Morant to come in there. Ja Morant, he's a pick and pop type of guy. And I think, Morant and Jaren Jackson would be a dynamic duo. I think that would be a very good, very good. And for those guys, again, I'm reading this off of post-lottery 2019 NBA mock drafts for Zion sweepstakes. This guy, magnificent article. I usually don't really share other people's articles on here, but this was very great, very well written. I agree with 95% of where these guys are going to go. New York Knicks, RJ Barrett. Yes, I think that's going to happen too. RJ Barrett would be a good player for them. The Knicks are having a hangover. Michael Rappaport said it perfectly. This is, as a New York Knicks fan or New York fan, you lose Odell, so he's gone to Cleveland. Then you pick a quarterback from Duke, and then you don't get the first pick after tanking all year, and you get the 3rd pick. It's been a pretty dramatized season for these New York fans, and I'm sorry, New York fans, but that's just the way it's going right now. Los Angeles Lakers are saying Jarrett Culver. This is the person I didn't really understand. Like, I was thinking maybe, the guy from Cam Reddish is good. DeAndre Hunter from Virginia is very great. Darius Garland's good. Hashimura from Gonzaga, Nasir Little. There's a whole bunch of good guys that I think would be better than Jarrett Culver from Texas Tech. I mean, Texas Tech did go pretty far, and, maybe if he wouldn't have gone as far, he wouldn't have got that attention. But those are the top 5, I mean, I'm not too big in college. I'm actually going to have my cousin on. We're going to be talking high school basketball. We're going to be talking high school recruits that are going into an unknown college, or not really unknown, but a college that is on the rise. And I can't wait to get him on here to discuss about what that is going to be about. He really knows his stuff when it comes to that kind of thing. Same with, both my cousins have been on the show, Darian and Breland. You guys have heard them talk, Mariners, have heard them talk Seahawks. They very well know what they're talking about when it comes to that kind of stuff. So let's move into the next thing. Okay, Grizzlies want John Morant at number 2. I don't know why they wouldn't want John Morant. He's the clear number 2 pick. I think John Morant's going to be a good player. And I just don't think that people that are writing him off are necessarily right. And it's kind of annoying to look at them and be like, oh, he's not going to be the number 2. Like, he's the number 2. You should have seen him play. I know he didn't go to the national championship, but maybe if he had a little more help, maybe if he was in Wake Forest and he had some guy like Taco Fall, he could have went a little farther. Wake Forest, that's another story. Those guys should have beat Duke. The NCAA gods literally made it so they didn't win. And I'm still butthurt, but I can't get too butthurt about it. It's obviously over. And Virginia won the title after they choked it the year before. So, Patrick Peterson suspended 6 games, just what the Arizona Cardinals needed. A great player to be suspended. Thanks, Patrick Peterson. I was really hoping that, he would be here this year. He's a fantastic corner. He's literally, perfectly built for the corner spot, and he makes the corner spot look easy when it's one of the hardest positions, I believe, in football. Besides, the line, any line position is very hard to do, but, the cornerback position is very, very underrated, I believe. The Jets are on fire right now. Something's going on under the Jets. They fired their GM. Gase is to take over. I guess Gase didn't want Le'Veon Bell there. For you guys who don't know, Le'Veon Bell was a free agent running back they acquired, arguably a top 5 running back. I would put him in the top 3, but after last year, there's other backs coming in. There's a whole bunch of drama there, and am I shocked? No. Am I appalled? No. Am I excited? No. It's just this is the type of shit. This is the type of shit I don't like talking about. Just not on my podcast. I love talking about it on here. But when there's nothing to talk about in football, so we're going to talk about Twitter drama. This stuff is okay. Here's a barrel, like a big old barrel, right? And here's a stick. You're just scraping it. Pirates used to scrape the bottom of the barrels to clean it and shit. They're just scraping just drama from NFL, from NBA, Twitter. That's exactly what they're doing, and it's exhausting. And I don't want to read about some Twitter drama with Le'Veon Bell. Can we talk about some training camp stuff, some rookies, something other than some drama? Oh my God. Anyways, so the Scott Pioli resigns as Falcons assistant GM. For those of you guys who pay attention to the GM side of things, I don't really pay attention to much GM stuff, but I thought I put it in there. A lot of people, are interested in who the head coaches are, who the GMs are, and there's a lot of great GMs and a lot of great coaches that go unsaid just because, if someone came up to me and said, Dom, can you name the Tennessee Titans head coach, or not head coach, but their GM? I would say no, I cannot. As a guy who has watched sports his whole life, I could not name you the Tennessee Titans GM, let alone their assistant GM. But it is cool to get in some news, and maybe they're trying to fix that in this league. They're trying to get people known that are in the higher ups. But it's a business up there, and it's more business related. I love business stuff, but I'd rather watch. I watch it for football. I don't watch it for the GM guy. Broncos QB Lock. So QB Lock, he's just he's like a not lower tier. That's even more. He's a backup to Flacco. Has been great to him. Joe Flacco, one of those guys I've been standing by. I actually have a picture of him in my bathroom. It says, for when the Ravens went on the Super Bowl run, for those guys who don't know, I'm a Ravens fan. It says, I believe I'm the best QB in the league. What kind of person would I be if I didn't believe that? That's just a way to think. I've been a guy who's been a Flacco guy for ever since he was a Raven, and it's really cool to see that he's in Denver and he's doing great things. He actually just volunteered at the Special Olympics camp they held in Denver, and that was a great thing. And what a guy! And I salute that guy. Not like a military salute, but I salute that guy in some football respect. That guy's he's definitely in my top 5 of all time favorite players. Free agent Pernell McPhee returns to Ravens. Pernell McPhee was on Atlanta, and I believe he was on Miami as well. Don't mark me down for the Miami one, but I do believe he was on. No, Pernell McPhee was on the Chicago Bears, I think, because Courtney Upshaw's in Atlanta. Yeah, Pernell McPhee returns to Ravens. Great pickup, linebacker after losing another veteran, Terrell Suggs. Again, he's back in Arizona. That is a great pickup for the Ravens for them to return to that. And let's see. The last thing I have for you guys today on the Weekly Take Podcast, episode 31, is Dak on deals. Dak Prescott talking on his deal. He wants to be a Cowboy forever. I mean, do I blame the guy for not wanting to leave? No, because he's in Dallas, and I believe that Dallas doesn't have an income tax on the checks, because I know in San Antonio for the NBA, they don't have to pay a tax on their contracts. It could be totally different for the NBA. I'm just trying to think. Maybe San Antonio is close to Dallas, and they're in the same state, so I don't think different counties have. I don't know. Who knows though? So if that's the case, I would be like, yeah, I'm staying too, because I get more money, more things, and I wouldn't really want to leave Dallas anyway. They've done him very great. He's got Ezekiel Elliott. He's got a good line. They have Amari Cooper there. Their defense is good. It's just, why would he leave? I don't see Dak Prescott leaving anytime soon. So, for those of you guys who are interested in what games are going on tonight, the Warriors and Blazers play tonight in Golden State at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So go check that game out. If you're just listening to this will probably be posted right around 5. I'm going to try to run over to the library and post it. The Wi-Fi is way better over there. Anyway, this has been episode 31. My name is Dominic Joseph. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys ever want to send in questions, comments, concerns, recommendations, who should be on the show, anything you want to send me something to wear while I'm on the show, like that, whatever it is, let me know. I'd love to be part of that. And again, Dominic Joseph, have a great, fantastic day. This has been the Weekly Take Podcast, episode 31.